What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I thank you for taking the time, this nice little lunch break edition. And we're going to get into the cap space here. But yeah, look, it's an early one today. It's hump day. Hope you're all having a great day. So thanks for taking the time. I'm going to try to make this a quick one. But first, a happy birthday shout out to my father. Would have been 72 today. The biggest diehard Eagles fan ever to date. So, look, getting into this, every year, June 1st is always an important date for football. So it always brings back so many great memories with him. But the great thing is the direction this team is headed. So I know he would be pretty damn happy right now. So we're going to get into this and we're going to talk about why you should be excited as well. A lot of misinformation out there. You know, some people just figuring out now that we're going to get money from Brooks and Cox. You know, here at On the Road to Victory, we've been keeping you guys up to date for months about that. So it's that time. Once 4 o'clock hits, once all that stuff, we're going to get money. So by tomorrow, we're going to have all this new money. We're going to have all this great stuff. But there are a couple things that, you know, are in play here that affect this salary cap. In order for me to give you the actual number, what we will have, because there is still one rookie left unsigned, but we do know his cap hit and we do know the money from Brooks and Cox. So I'm going to give you all those numbers. Let's take a gander at the list for today. You'll see we're going to go through. I'm going to show you the current salary. Then we're going to go through, look at how Cam Jurgens affects the salary cap, then Brooks and Cox, and then I'm going to give you the new salary cap. And I'm pretty excited about it. We've been talking about it. You see people bringing it up now. Jesse Bates, Chuck Clark. Look, go check those videos out from weeks, months before, talking about those guys, talking about the Eagles sitting pretty with all of that money, all of those picks. Well, we used those picks. We used a lot of that money, but we still have a lot to use. So let's get this bad boy started. See, we've got some comments here. Oh, my man, Drew in the building. Happy I found you on Facebook, my man. I had to go into like the message requests, so quite the time. But dude, a pleasure to find you on there and talk more outside of this. I tell all of you guys, try to reach out on any platform. Always happy to talk about life, birds, whatever it is. I truly appreciate you guys. So thought I'd get this quick. I know everybody's on a lunch break right now, so just trying to get it in. Whether you're chilling or on a lunch break, doesn't matter. Whether you're watching this later, I hope you enjoy the content. If you do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Truly appreciate all of you guys. Oh, my man, what is up, dude? Look, we're here. We're ready early on a Wednesday. I cannot take it, man. Football's still months away, but you know I'm rearing to go because we've talked about this money for months. We talked about how exciting it was going to be. Stay patient for after June 1st because then we could see some of those trades we've talked about, some of the other moves. So stay patient. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. HBD, respect to your dad. Hey, appreciate that, man. Really do. He was the man. He would have been 72 today. So when I grew up, I had a completely different outlook on life. He was old school. And dude, Rich Kotite was a name that was brought up more than anything when I was complaining about the Donovan McNabb years. Little did I know how glorious those years were as I grew up. I was really lucky in my teenage years. As a child, we sucked, but I learned what it was to stay true to your team. And, you know, we're not Cowboys fans in these parts. We don't switch up just because the team's looking bad. So you saw everybody switching up this past offseason. Look, wasn't having it. Explained in detail last year how this year we would get all of these great players via the draft, the cap space we had. We're doing it. So let those people mope, whine, do whatever the hell they're doing. But let's get this bad boy started. The Eagles' current salary cap, if you were to look it up, right, Eagles have in cap space. This is after signing the rookies, James Bradbury, all of those things, all the things that have actually already happened. That's the number right here that you would see if you were to look. $7 million. That's not too bad, to be honest with you. You could still make some of those moves we've talked about because of having to move that money around. We talked about it. If you give someone an extension, restructure their deal, you can give them a big signing bonus, have a small cap hit the first year, and spread that thing out. I've showed you the cap space for the future, and we've got a lot in a couple of years. Next year, not so much, but the cap will go up. So we keep those things in mind. We know what's going on. We see that $7 million, okay? So people are thinking, okay, that's all we've got. We're adding this, that, the other thing. Well, hold your horses. So Cam Jurgens is the only player that we have here that is not somebody that, you know, is going to affect the cap. He's one last person that's going to affect the cap. We went through an entire show when it was, I believe, Nakobe Dean, Jurgens, and maybe Kyron Johnson was left. but I broke down, how they were going to affect the salary cap. And it was only the top 3 guys that were going to actually affect that salary cap, if you guys do remember that. So, look, I think that for me, having that money, it's beneficial. I just don't understand how the people that, have these jobs that get paid to talk about these things don't understand it. So let's take a look here. What you have to do is look at Cam Jurgens Cap Hit, $1,352,592. Now, what people are going to do is take that number and they're going to subtract it from the cap. You'll see that from the blue check marks all the time. But that is unfortunately not how you do this. So the salary cap is just the top cap hits from the top 51 guys on the roster. So it's not even the 53 men on the roster. It's actually just the top 51. So we've discussed this a million times. In case you're a new listener, though, that's how it works. So you are replacing Cam Jurgens Cap Hit with the bottom cap hit on the roster. And that is Josiah Scott right now at $895,000. So if you subtract that cap hit from Cam Jurgens Cap Hit, you will get the actual cap hit for the Eagles, $457,592. So we're subtracting that number from that previous salary cap that we just looked at. So once we do that, we get $6,603,226, ladies and gentlemen. So that is how you see. And those numbers, and I do this every year, guys, because you can get the salary cap numbers based on where they're drafted for all of these guys. And we always talk about it's only going to be a certain amount of the rookies that affect it. So it's only the top 3 here. We've talked about this over and over again, but that is the number we're working with, okay? So I just wanted to get to that number there. We'll look at it one last time, but try to make it pretty simple so you could understand it. But $6,603,226. That's the number we're going to work with here as we get into the next topic, because we know Cam Jurgens, how he has affected the salary cap. Now we want to know, with that money coming in, how will Brandon Brooks and Fletcher Cox affect the salary cap? So we're going to take a look at that here in a second. We got a comment. Give me 1 minute here. Let them know every day, my man. East Coast Gridiron in the building. Happy to have you, dude. Hope you're having a well day. It's hump day, baby. So 12:30. I got to get this in. We got to try to finish this here quickly. But, I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, any comments you want to throw, maybe it's after the video, whatever, please feel free. I'm always down to talk some birds. And if there's something maybe you don't understand, I try to make this as simple as I can. Please let me know. You don't want to ask on here, you can reach out on any of these platforms. If it's on Facebook and I miss it through message requests, please let me know, and I will happily search you out and find it. But let's keep this thing going. Let's look at the salary cap effect now that Brooks and Cox money will go into effect after today. So now we are looking at the money we have talked about. Fletcher Cox, the $3,185,411. We talked about would it be anywhere from $2 million to $5 million because of how they were going to prorate that dead money. That's an entire different conversation for itself. If you guys want to go back and check out that Fletcher Cox video with all the details of that, please feel free. But here's the money that we got from over the cap. So $3,185,411 is what we are having added to the cap space after today. And then you have Brandon Brooks as well. So we talked about how he still had like $7 million on the books counting when we were doing the salary cap. But I explained to some of you guys, I was incorporating that into the salary cap, all that great stuff. So we're taking that money, we're adding those two together, and you're getting $4,385,411. That is the salary cap that you will be adding on to that number we just figured out. So we take that number we just figured out, which is the Eagles salary cap, including Cam Jurgens salary cap hit, which was the $6,603,226. We're going to add that cap space that we just got from Fletcher Cox and Brandon Brooks. So you add that $4,385,411, and it gives you $10,988,637, ladies and gentlemen. So you see the effect that those guys have, and now you know the Eagles post June 1st salary cap hit. It's $10,988,637. Now, give or take some of this, you know how these websites work, you know, with the numbers, all that great stuff, but I will always stay on top of these things. So I will keep my eye on it, but we almost have $11 million, ladies and gentlemen. You heard me talk about how we could sign James Bradbury when we only had about $8 million. So we're adding more money. We can trade for Jesse Bates. We can trade for Chuck Clark. If you're looking for information on how that would work, go check out both of those videos. I explained in detail how you could trade for both of them. And those both, that stands true still because we have more money. So it's hilarious to me to see all these people talking about this stuff now. It's like, dude, we've been talking about this for weeks and months for some of them. So I don't know, man. These blue check marks, I'm doing my best. Hey, look, I have seen some change. People are understanding the cap. People are starting to understand the difference in defensive scheme. So it is working. Well, we got to keep working. So we're going to hope that they, tune in, figure this out, start understanding the salary cap and things like that, because the Eagles have been sitting pretty. People were pissed off all offseason. We didn't get Deshaun Watson. And as I try to explain, well, we need to use that for all the thousands of pieces we're going to add. We talked about Reddick. We talked about freaking Kazir White, Kobe Dean, Jordan Davis, all those guys. That is the much better route than Deshaun Watson. I can assure you of that. So we're here now, and we're still looking at money after all of those moves we made. So we can really make this a Super Bowl contender that we've really been talking about for months upon months upon months. It's driving me insane. Taking a listen while working. My man, appreciate your grind as well. Love the graphics and everything. Hey, dude, and I've only known you for a little bit, but from the little I've seen, I love what you're putting out there, man. I really need to check out one of your shows. This past week has been hell. You guys noticed I was missing for a little, but getting back to health. This damn thing likes to get in my way every once in a while, but doesn't stop me. So I appreciate the hell out of you, and I'm truly appreciative that you enjoy the work, and I appreciate what you're doing. If you guys want some more NFL-related stuff, go check out East Coast Gridiron. I believe he is a Jags fan, or maybe it's your father, but hey, you're putting out the work, man. Truly appreciate it. So thank you for tuning in today, my man. How are you, like the top Eagles creator? You know your stuff. Hey, I just keep putting in the work, dude, and hope that, and look, it's not that people don't like it, because you notice after I make a show, people will start understanding the cap, or they'll start talking about what I did. I'm like, oh, that's weird. But it's like, all you got to do is hit the like, maybe subscribe, retweet it every once in a while. Like, I'm a nice guy, I swear. What I don't like is people getting paid for the work I do. That's what I don't appreciate. So I don't know. I think I do rub people the wrong way, though, because I'm not into pandering. Like when people talk about Deshaun Watson and stuff like that, I try to explain why that's not going to work, why that's not going to happen. And I try to break down why we would probably instead sign guys like Hassan Reddick, Kazir White, draft Kobe Dean, draft Jordan Davis. Now, I know that upset a lot of people at the time, but looking at actually having those players now, I think people are actually excited now. So people live in the moment a lot. It's really weird. I just keep trying to provide that content and being, if I keep getting it right every year, I just hope, every year I've done this, I've got who we're going to draft, and you guys see my work in the free agency and everything else, breaking down the scheme. So I appreciate you, man, because I do put a lot of work. All my free time, if I'm not spending it with family, even when I'm spending it with family, I'm putting in work, dude, creating graphics while I'm at it, doing nut stuff, dude. Trust me. So I appreciate you. I really do. I do, man. So it'll come in time. And look, I've made some of the best connections. I know there's other people out there that don't have the people telling them what they tell me, like Bradbury the day before that happens. All that stuff that I get, who Jalen Hurts is working with. Not Tom Brady. It's not Tom House. I know who it is. And it's like, see, that to me, that's what I'm working towards. So we'll hope that the job comes next, the big money, all that stuff. But right now, it's about the quality. So the quantity will come. And right now, if you notice, it's real football fans. It's diehard Eagles fans. It's the people that want to talk football, and it's not the hot take artists. And if people like hot takes and all that stuff, cool. I love breaking that stuff down, but it's like, I'm more into the football side of things. That's just, I like understanding things, and I want other people to be able to understand things. My friends used to call me and be like, dude, this guy's arguing with me. I need you to hook me up. And I'd be telling them stuff about their teams so they can go smoke people at the bar. It's like, that's what I want. I want you to feel like I've got so much information here. I'm going to drop it on people's heads. So that's all I want, man. I want you guys. I know you love the birds as much as I do, and I like math. There's not many people in the world that do. So I do the dirty work and hope that you guys like it. So my man AK in the building. What is good? Yo, I cannot. And every time this young man is on this show, and he's not a young man, but I call everyone that. But this dude is awesome. I had the pleasure of going on his show, but do me a favor, go check out AK on Twitter, YouTube, all of the platforms he's using. Hit that like button and subscribe to his channel as well, because if you guys are looking for Eagles content, there are a lot of content creators out here. And I know there's a lot of misinformation and whatever stuff, but there are really awesome guys out there. I've had the pleasure of going on plenty of these shows. I've had some people ask me to come on here in the near future. So I'm going to keep trying to do that. All this is about is spreading that brotherly love. I was on my damn deathbed and my Eagles, that's right, my Eagles somehow got me through it. And you guys know they should be the ones probably killing us, right? I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack every Sunday. So yeah, that's where I find my peace. But I appreciate the hell out of you, dude. I seriously do. So we're going to have to do some work in the near future. Again, my man, I'm going to start bringing guests back on my show here now that the summer's starting to, once the summer gets out of the way, it's coming here. But if you remember, I like to bring on people like last year, I had on the trainer and the chef from the Bro Barn. So that gave us more information than we could have ever asked for and continues to do so. So hell yeah. But you guys are awesome. I can't thank you enough. So I just keep trying to make those connections with people that work with the Eagles, close to the Eagles, anything I can, so I can provide you guys the real content you deserve. So I can't thank you enough for all the kind words. God, Jimmy is sharper than a razor. RZA. Oh, the RZA, the Jizza. I love it, dude. Wu-Tang is for the kids. So look, you guys, I can't thank you enough. Thank you. It's been a rough week. So to hear these words it's helpful to me, because I try not to complain about what I go through with this stupid disease and all the other stupid things it brings on with my health. I don't want to whine about it, and I don't want your pity. I just want people to understand sometimes if I go missing, it's probably because something's happening. But I want you guys to know that this is a safe place. This is a place where we all escape and come talk birds, man. So I love you all, man. I do. And that facts indeed, man. Wait, no, not facts about me being the best or the GOAT or whatever. Just facts that providing the content, man. I really just, and the RZA, the Jizza, whatever you want, dude. I'm just going to spit some bars for you. Clark is cheaper than Bates. Great question. So we went through that. And what we talked about with Chuck Clark, right, was why would that cost us money if we made that move? And the reason was Jalen Reagor. Because if you remember at the time, it was Jalen Reagor was talked about being traded to the Ravens for Chuck Clark. But people didn't realize that we had dead cap money if you get rid of Jalen Reagor. So if we would have done that back then, you're taking on like $4 million in dead money, and then you're taking on his $4 million in cap space. So he would have cost some money there if you trade for him with a guy like that. I'm not sure if that's the move they're going to make, but Chuck Clark would be cheaper than Jesse Bates. So I just wanted to verify if that's what threw you off. During that video, the talk was, how would the money affect with a trade? So I also discussed just what his money looked like. His money would be much less than Jesse Bates, because with Jesse Bates, you would have to trade for him and then give him a new contract, because that's what he wants. Doesn't want that franchise tag. He's one of the top guys in the league. So you're going to have to give him money. But what we talked about is give him that long-term deal, just like when we talked about trading for a big name wide receiver. We did that. We got A.J. Brown. You do that by, if the price is right for what you're giving up, then you pay the man the money. And people, then you have to pay him. It's like, yes, you pay good players to stay on your team. That is the hope. So we've missed out on some players in the draft. Last year's draft was amazing. This past draft was awesome. So you get those guys, but you also had some studs without having to draft them. A.J. Brown, well, do the same damn thing with Jesse Bates. Bring him in, give him a big signing bonus, small cap hit the first year, spread the money out. Good to go. So glad we dodged Watson. Me too. Now he's going through another one. It's like, bro, no, thank you. Do I know he's a great player? You're goddamn right I do. But I also knew that at the time he was going through 22 civil cases, now 23. So for me, I broke it all down. I would rather sign Hassan Reddick, Kaiser White, draft Jordan Davis, draft Nakobe Dean, do all of these things with those first-round picks and cap space, rather than trade all of them away for one guy who we don't even know if he's getting suspended, what his future looks like. No one knows. So I think for me, no-brainer. Going live at 6:30. I might be able to make that. And even if I can't, I'll have my phone with me. So I'll try to watch as much as I can. Love it, dude, my man. And guys, go check that out. Seriously. And from what I've seen, great stuff. So I can't sit here and tell you, exactly what team it is because I'm forgetting. But I know the Jaguars is you or your dad. But you guys are awesome. So keep up the great work, man. You're a realist. You understand the things are not as they seem because of hype. Oh, man. Great statement there, because that is something I think that helped me in the beginning, because it was like I was on my deathbed and literally certain people, writers, were driving me insane because they just make stuff up. People being in gangs, all this dumb shit. And it's like, bro, I'm just going to stick to what's actually happening. We're going to see how that goes. So my girlfriend pushed me to start talking about sports. You guys know I got the job writing, got all that, started doing this show, all that stuff. So look, man, I just don't fall for the hype. I never have. And my dad used to make me talk over the announcers like Chris Collinsworth. So I've been primed since childhood to know everything about the Eagles. I mean, when I was a kid, I could tell you their height, their weight, where they're from. I mean, I was a nut job as an elementary kid. So it just keeps going. I don't stop. You know what I mean? I love it. So when you love something, that's what you do, man. And I won't fall for people that, and you'll hear people like, they never played it down their life. Dude, I don't care if you never played football. I know for me, playing football, it has helped me immensely. I know, just like with being an alcoholic before, that has helped me help people that are dealing with addiction, because I've actually done it. But doesn't mean you can't understand it. Doesn't mean people can't break things down and your brain can't go, oh, I get that. So that's what we're doing here. I don't care if you've never played. I don't care if you played 20 years. It doesn't matter to me what you're doing, dude. I just want to come here and tell the truth about what's going on. And well, the 4 years I've been doing it, it's gone pretty well. I mean, compare resumes with anybody else. It's like, whatever, dude, let them keep hyping up people. And it's like, what I don't get is why people like that stuff so much. And you see them complaining. It's like, well, why do you watch it? Why do you listen to it? I sure as hell never would. And I got to thank those people, though, because I would never know some of this dumb stuff people say if I didn't, because it's like, what? And I appreciate you guys that have been tagging me in articles that people write about cap space or misconstruing and misinforming people. Don't let them do that. So I appreciate when you guys tag me. I'm happy to try to explain things to people. Watson and Wilson didn't even want to come here. So after I heard, I was like, fuck it. Well, that's something that we also talked about. Look, they have to want to come here. Didn't want to come here. Russell Wilson getting up there in age. Why not keep a kid 10 years younger than him that they think can hopefully be their Russell Wilson, that everybody, he sucks. He's not good. Blah, blah. He wasn't in the first round. Sure, that's fine. We're building around him. We're going to find out. But for me, it was always Jalen Hurts QB1, build around him with all that stuff, right? So, yeah, they're great quarterbacks, but this is a business, man. This isn't Madden. I can't just trade away 10 years down the road and then I'm not even playing the game still and I gave away 17 picks for somebody. I actually have to give up my money now. So we don't have Jordan Davis. We don't have A.J. Brown. We don't have Nakobe Dean. We don't have Kaiser White. We don't have these guys if you just trade for a quarterback. And then we have no defense, no wide receivers. I mean, we got Devontae. I love him. I love Quez. But I'm just saying, we don't do what we need to do if you trade for one of those guys. So for me, it was a no-brainer. When we do the NFC East predictions next month, definitely going to bring you on. Let me know, man. I would be happy to come on. And I got to do that last year. And what a whirlwind it was. I talked about, dude, do you guys remember that 1 week I went on a show every single day? I don't know why. People just reached out and were like, hey. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm always down. But it was great because I was catching a lot of slack for saying, look, we're going to go through a lot of bumpy roads, but I don't think this is a 5-win team. I feel like this is more of like a 9-10 win team. And I talked about why and broke down a lot of the things of what I saw, but you had to run the ball, and then we didn't do that in the beginning. So it was great to be able to come out and say things and then watch them unfold. And another offseason of doing that. It's like, that's all I try to do, man. If people would like it, good for them. If they don't, I mean, there's plenty of misinformation out there. Plenty. Jimmy, definitely on your way. You are great because you're grounded. And hey, man, I appreciate that, Drew. And look, that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do is just talk actual football. That's all I've ever wanted to do. You guys were there for me when I was on my deathbed. Some of you guys, maybe I just met in the past year or past month, or maybe this is your first show. That's what this is for, man. Brotherly love. We're all just here to talk some birds. We all go through stuff, and the world is nuts right now. So I need the escape, man. I go through a lot of stuff with this damn disease, but I don't complain about it because I have this, man. This is my medicine. It's like, okay, I can't take a Tylenol, an Advil, anything, dude. I've got my green medicine and I've got you guys. That's all I need, man. All I need. So, and yes, East Coast, I'm definitely down. And I know a lot of the people here will be tuning in to check that out. Really looking forward to hearing what some other people from the NFC East are, what they've got to say, because we all see what the Eagles are and they should be scared. I appreciate you, dude. I really do. I seriously do, man. You guys are awesome. And I hope, soon we get a chance to meet at games, or once I get a new computer and can go on live with more than 4 people at a time. That's going to be awesome. But I just keep building, keep trying to do my best and hope that can get you guys through, when a person that brings facts, not emotional, feel like it'd be pretty. Well, look, I bring a lot of emotion. So that's something I can't promise you, but no, I always speak from truth. I don't, I'm not a homer. I'm not somebody if somebody sucks, you're going to hear about it. if there's promise for somebody, you're going to hear about it, though. So that goes to the same way, as people, this guy sucks, he's a bust. It's like, holy shit, it's his first year. Like, so yes, I'm definitely a realist, but I bring energy. But I try to leave my emotion at the door when it comes to definitely going on other people's shows, because it's hard for me. But it worked out last year, just being honest about, the Eagles, we're going to have bumpy roads, but strap in, because this year when we have cap space and picks, that's what you get excited about. So let's hope that they learn, progress, Gannon, Sirianni as coaches. And that's what I saw. Hurts as a quarterback. So I'm excited about it. JC, my man, what is going on, dude? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in on this nice little hump day. It's 1 o'clock. I was supposed to be done by now, so I definitely have to get rolling, but I appreciate you taking the time, my man, going through, looking at the salary cap, how it's going to be affected by those guys today, and what the cap's going to look like tomorrow. One of the best, and break down the cap space. Hey, man, I truly appreciate you, dude. And it's a lot of math, a lot of work, but look, I hope that you guys are able to see other people's work, or you're able to look at the cap afterwards and be like, hold up a sec. That's not how it works. I actually have to replace this with this. I just want you guys to be able to do the same thing. So we all are out here talking about our birds, and in the day, the day of age of misinformation, where that's what gets the most clicks. That's what, people love to be misinformed. And it's like, I refuse. I will not. And I haven't, dude. So that's why I've made the connections I have, but you don't see the subscribers and stuff going up. Now, in the past year and a half, we've been doing this. Well, not year and a half yet on YouTube. It's definitely been growing. So I can't appreciate you guys. I can't thank you enough. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. It has seriously been a wild week. I was excited to come back last night. I got 2 shows ready yesterday, one for last night and then one for today. So that way we'd be able to talk some birds, baby. Because, dude, it sucks when I get sick and I can't talk birds, but it is what it is. It's not Eagles related, but your true feelings on Daniel Jones' situation. He's been in him on the fence, saying he's not bad as others. The situation he's been in. Yeah, that's something you have to look at. Look at the coaching staff. Look at all that stuff. That's something I bring up with Jalen Hurts. He's never had, since high school, the same coaching staff, the same system in back-to-back years. So for me, that's the same thing for Daniel Jones. And I think with the plethora of injuries they had at the wide receiver, tight end, Evan Ingram not working out, their offensive line being complete garbage, Saquon Barkley being non-healthy, that's really hard to gauge what you've got there. So I think that's why this year they're giving it another run. I think, with the pieces they've added, and Wan'Dale Robinson, I thought was a nice addition for them. If Galladay stays healthy, I think that team could definitely surprise some people. And I think Daniel Jones isn't as bad as, I'm not where some people are as with how bad he is, but he's not great. But I'm with you. I think with what you're saying, there's still room to see what he is. I don't think I can say flat out. And, when I talk about receivers, I would say 3 years. That's for most positions for me. I like to see a couple years, a few years. Really, certain positions are different kind of years because I can really tell what's going on, if they're a starter or depth. It really, all of that goes into it. But yeah, I think some time we're going to find out what he is. But I think this will be his last year to prove it. But yeah, I hope he doesn't pan out for the Eagles' sake. But I think he's got a lot of talent there, man. And if they stay healthy, they, Saquon Barkley, they run that ball with those receivers they have, they could definitely be a force to be reckoned with. And they always give us a problem, obviously. If it's a divisional matchup, anybody's going to be a problem. So I think you and Gate City need to give a announcement salary cap. Steven Hyder, you are the best in numbers. Got you 2. If I need a cyborg to break it down. Hey, man, I don't know who that is, but I think you mentioned them before, Gate City. I'm going to have to check them out. Steven Hyder, I'm guessing, Hyder. I'm guessing that is the name of the person. So I will look up both of those, try to find them. If there's anybody who's out there who's loving the cap as me, I would definitely love to meet them. So, hey, man, this is stuff that I hope you guys enjoy. And throughout the season, we break everything down. But just trying to get through this all season with as much information I feel you guys would need. How do I feel about the Eagles fans still wanting Howie to go out and get a safety instead of relying on our guy, Epps, Harris, Walsh, and Sasha Ray? We talked about that last night. Go check out that video where we talked about, every single position. But I talked about Marcus Epps, and I've been talking about him for months. I think people are sleeping on how the Eagles feel about him. I think now people are starting to see it because there hasn't been a move made. But with Anthony Harris, Marcus Epps back there, there is room for concern. I get it. People are concerned there. But Anthony Harris, I think, progressed each week in this system last year. And I think that Marcus Epps definitely did. And we talked about him being more of a strong safety last year, but getting that coverage he did last year man, I thought he did pretty well. So in that show, and also go check out that show where I broke down all of the schemes the Eagles will run, talked about those guys, where you want to move them around, different schemes. Look, I like what we have, but I also like Jesse Bates a lot. So if you go out and get a Jesse Bates, then you have Harris, Bates, and Epps. You can run a lot of big nickel with Epps in there as your third safety. You could see him, he'll get his fair share of snaps, even if you were to bring in someone like Bates. Andre Sacheret, you guys know I love Andre Sacheret. He can provide depth as a nickel cornerback, a safety, and he is great on special teams. So I think he makes this roster. Kayvon Wallace got to step it up. He'll be on the roster, but man, people were hopeful he'd be that starting safety. So let's see what he's got this offseason. I think I misspelled the last guy's name. I'll figure it out. I'll find him either way. But who are you talking about? Oh, I thought you were saying this. Steven Hyder. I'll look it up. I'm sure I can find Geek City Sport. Okay. But you're talking about Sacheret. Now I get it. I think it's Chachere, I do believe. So Sacheret is how you say it too. But dude's awesome. I love him. He came in last year and we talked about him then. I think he earns himself a spot this year. Thank you for that. We definitely agree more about Jones. I think he takes a huge step. I'm the same with the 3-year vows. Like you, man. He's a smart, my man. Looking forward to that show for sure. Yo, my man, what's going on? Hey, I keep getting ready to bounce out here, but you guys keep rolling in, so I love it. But look, let me send a text here real quick. But look, I think for me, with this extra money, with the moves they've already made right now, I already feel pretty damn good about this team. So I hope you're feeling good. Nest out west. Hope you're having a great day because, whoa, I'm getting pumped up. I don't know if you missed it, but let me pop this bad boy up here one last time. That is the money we will have come tomorrow. So give or take some, we always talk about how they always throw up random ass numbers up there, but I'll keep you up to date with what the numbers are as they change. So let's go. Me, the safety concern isn't so much about going out to get another guy just because, but it's also depth moves since we're slim at safety. Well, that's what I talked about, man, and that's what I'm saying. Getting Jesse Bates allows you to have Epps as your third safety, and then you have Kayvon and Andre there. That makes me feel good. So go check that show out last night. I talked about how I don't feel great with the depth there. I do like Epps. I do like Harris, but beyond that, So I would add Bates. That's a all-pro caliber kid that I think is going to be amazing for the rest of his career. So sign me up. Sign me up. Let's go. Oh, love to see it. Love to see the brotherly love spread in the chat. Epps is a stud. Check his number. Oh, I don't have to, my man. I've been trying to get people on board with that one for a while. So glad to see other people joining in. Better late than never. And Nina, always one of the most diehard fans in here. She always showing love. Gotta give props to her and the family. I can't wait for this season to see you and mom dancing, all the great videos you're posting. I'm ready. And with this money, I think the Eagles are going to be ready too. So thank you for tuning in, Nina. Hope you're having a great hump day. What would you have to give up to get a guy like Bates, especially him not being a free agent yet? So you would have to do a trade and stuff. Well, the good thing is you have him by the balls. You have to tell them, look, we know he wants out. You're not giving him the money. We will. So maybe you give up a second. Maybe you give up another fourth, a fifth, and a player, something like that. But I'm not sure that you have to give up a first. Maybe you do. Maybe you give up a first next year, and then that's that. Maybe you just throw in some extra chump change, and that's what it is. But go check out that video of Jesse Bates. And then there's one after we got the salary cap for James Bradbury where I break all of that stuff down in detail. Do we have the 3 best piece of cornerback? Yes. And I made a tweet of that. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I made a picture with those 3. I think we do have the best trio. So very excited to see them on the field. Overall, I think we do best. Yes. I think so. We got to see, obviously, but very excited. And I love to see the love you guys are sharing for each other on here. Let's go. Jimmy, I'm going to head out. My man, good seeing you as well. And look, we'll talk soon, brother. Reach out and let's go Birds. Have a good one, dude. We're good with Epps. Yep. Take that answer, JCST. Yeah. Look, man, this is something I've been trying to get out there. And look, Nina's asking how you are. Love to see that. But this is why I always try to share my videos. And when people are talking about stuff, I try to get it out there. I do my best. I mean, we were talking about James Bradbury 3 months ago, how the Giants probably wouldn't keep that salary and how we should bring him in. I mean, we talked about Hassan Reddick, Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis. There's breakdowns of every one of those guys before they came here. So for me, I know what's going on here, very much so. I just don't understand why everyone else is still left out in the dark. It's great to see everybody catching up, but it's weird seeing all these, like, should the Eagles trade for Jesse Bates? Like, oh, Eagles salary cap. It's like, bro, little late to the party, are we? Holy hell. So, hey, these blue check marks, man, they get paid big money to, I don't know, one day. I'm getting there, I promise you. But, dude, you guys, I love you all. You made this way longer than I ever expected it to be, but I appreciate the hell out of you. And I love you all. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. You have any questions on that stuff, all the math there, please. I'd love to easily break it down for you, because it's not complicated. I know a lot of people get, frustrated with the cap, but it's a simple breakdown. That's why I try to simplify it for you guys, so you can see how simple it is. You don't have to rely on me. I'm trying to make people smarter out here. I know a lot of people just take content and do other things like that, but that's why this is a family here. You guys are here to support, show that, look, here we are, baby. We talked about all these things. Let them get confused out there. Tagged you in his Twitter. Nice. Like Bates, but not for a first. Yeah, that's why I was saying I wouldn't give a first. Think you could do it for much less than that. Final question. How much faith do you have in JG using these players? We got a lot. We talked about last year. I thought Jonathan Gannon had some really great ideas, and I thought people that were talking bad about him just didn't understand football. And it turned out that was true, because you saw those people when we signed Hassan Reddick. They're like, oh, we got a middle linebacker. Now we're not drafting a linebacker. And that told me right there, okay, well, you don't even know what position he plays as a Sam linebacker. So a lot of the people were misconstrued about a rookie defensive coordinator. When all those teams were trying to get him as a head coach, that told me, like, hey, so the guy just didn't have the personnel. And we talked about that. That's why I said our first round pick has to be Jordan Davis. You have to get Jordan Davis, because we need a nose tackle. We are running odd schemes, odd fronts, and we don't have a nose tackle. So you got to get a nose tackle. You got to get a line. I said, draft a linebacker and sign a linebacker and get an edge rusher. Well, who were the guys I talked about? Hassan Reddick, Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Kaiser White. We have those four right there. That's huge. Then we talked about adding a veteran corner next to Slay, James Bradbury. Pretty huge. So go check out that breakdown of all the schemes where I talk about how much I feel we had to make these moves this offseason. That's why we couldn't trade away all of our cap, all of our picks just for a quarterback when we needed an entire team. So we went out, we got all of those people. So I have a lot of faith in Jonathan Gannon now that he has all of those pieces that he needed. So very, very excited. Just subscribe, my man. Mike, I thought I knew. No, you are somebody else, just with the same bird gang in there. There's so many bird gangs, but I will remember you, Big Mike. I appreciate you, dude. If you love Eagles content, well, then you are in the right place. But I'm going to post some of those videos in the comments for you guys if you want to check them out, whether that's about Jesse Bates or the different schemes we'll be running for. A lot of the blue check marks are out there telling people the Eagles are about to start running odd fronts. Well, we did that last year with all the odd fronts we ran. So I broke it down in picture form. So you'll see where each guy is playing, where their depth is. And look, I break it down because some people may not be a starter listed yet, but they will be. Check it out. I thought that show was put a lot of work into it. So I hope you appreciate it. My man, abuelito, dude, how you been? Dude, haven't seen you in a few days, but I was out for a few myself, so can't blame it on you. But last night, put in the work. Today, put in the work. Hope you're going to check out those shows. Can't wait to hear your thoughts, but I'm actually just getting out of here right now. But huge pickups indeed, man. The schemes we're going to run, go check that video out. It's going to be a fun time. You guys are awesome. If you enjoyed this content, do me a favor. Like JC says here, hit that like button. And if you want more information like this, turn that subscribe button on, hit that notification bell, and you'll be all set, because this is what we do throughout the offseason, throughout the season, breaking everything down. Each week we break down our opponent. We get to know everything about everything. So if that's you, if you're into knowing everything, you're not one of those who, and you don't even know who's on your team, you're in the right place. So, and if you're one of those people and you want to stop having to say who, you want to know every single detail about the Philadelphia, if you wake up and your first thought is Eagles, you're in the right place. Fly, Eagles, fly, Mr. Walker. Appreciate you tuning in, but I'm just rolling out this 10-minute video, turn into a 40-minute video. Can't wait to see that response text, but I appreciate the hell out of you guys. You are awesome. And if you're watching this later, you can always comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts, how you're feeling about this, how you think we're going to use that cap. Maybe we just hold on to it because we need money for next year. We let it roll over. Maybe we wait throughout the season, make a trade, do something. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear your thoughts. thank you again for tuning in, hitting that like button, subscribing, all that stuff you're doing. I truly appreciate your support. But if you need me, reach out. That's all I've got for you today, unless something wild happens. I'll be back when something does happen, but I've got a few things I am working on. We're going to break down a bunch of stuff. Got OTAs here, so thank you. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. One more comment here. Hold on one sec, and then I will be getting out of here. Check out East Meets West tonight at 10. All right, so 6:30 and at 10, I will be trying to check you guys out for sure. Appreciate you guys taking the time for me, and I will definitely try to make it. And look, 6:30, 10. I think our times, I should be able to pop in and say what's up. So I appreciate the invite and I look forward to talking with you guys. And look, I'll be back. But if you need anything else, reach out. Seriously. And hey, I appreciate the hell out of you, Mr. Walker. I truly, truly do. And, we're going to keep working until we become the voice of the Eagles. So I'm glad you like it, man. And hey, if you ever want to talk birds outside of this, always free, always available on these platforms to talk some birds. And if I'm not free at that moment, I'll get back to you when I am. What advice do you have for a new Eagles content creator? Well, keep grinding, man. I've been doing this for a long time. There's people that do it in a day and they get 1,000 subscribers. I've only been doing YouTube for a little over a year, but I've been doing this on Facebook, Twitter for a couple years, for like 4 years. So Facebook for 4 years, Twitter like 2, and then YouTube for the last year. But just keep learning, keep teaching yourself stuff. I taught myself graphics, how to be a producer, how to make shows, how to all this stuff. I don't know. And then I just start talking. I used to be on shows with guests. I used to work for a couple other different brands that helped me, get a better idea of things. But once I started seeing I was pretty much just being used by those places, I had to dip because I don't really like doing all the work for everyone else to reap the benefits. I mean, I don't mind helping people at all. I never have. You can ask anyone. I help all kinds of people. And reach out to me, man, on Twitter, in the messages, or Facebook if you'd like. And I would love to, give you some pointers. You have any kind of questions, I would be happy to help you. I mean, I'm no professional. Like I said, I don't even have 700 subscribers yet. So I'm working, I'm doing all I can. And, just understanding the game of football. I think that's a big one. I think people appreciate when there's actual people out here that understand the game, because that is something that's lacking. So just know your stuff and come prepared and have a good time. I mean, for me, that's what it's all about. Just have a good time. You guys are family to me. So this is always, for me, it's an escape. I get to sit down. We're going to talk some birds. Maybe people have some questions. Maybe somebody's going to tell me something I didn't know, so it's not just me teaching people stuff. This is a place for all of us to talk. And maybe you have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. I don't care. Now, some people, they think, and you guys have seen it that have been here for a few years, they come in and tell me how stupid I am. And then when those things happen, I go back and I ask them, now who was it that's stupid? And then people get offended. And it's like, if you don't want me to come back and tell you who's stupid, well, then maybe don't try to tell me what I don't know, because I think at this point, you're barking up the wrong tree. And I think I've pretty much proven that. So look, I'm only here for a good time. And if people come at me, so that's another one, Mike. Big Mike, I think you got to watch out for the assholes. People are going to hate. I was on my deathbed, and the people I worked for told someone else to just take what I was doing. They're like, hey, just reach out to the players. Just do what he's doing. Well, that person was able to pretty much just took what I was doing, and those players never responded ever again. That person got to fly straight to the top. And it was just like, oh, damn. But then I had just people like, I wish you would die, because I was saying the Eagles would win the Super Bowl and stuff. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, I'm sorry I'm breaking down why Nick Foles can win the Super Bowl and that offends you. But then when it happened, I went back to all of those people, every single one of them. Do you still want me to die, or do you want me to teach you about football? And sure, people think I'm a dick because of that. But it's like, bro, I was on my deathbed and I match energy. So if you're going to be a dick to me, I can assure you I'm going to track you down when we do sign Hassan Reddick. When you tell me we don't have cap space, I'm going to show you that we do. I match energy. That's all I can do. So if you're awesome, like Big Mike, Mr. Walker just joining in, or whether you're someone like JC or Nest Out West recently joined, or Abuelito, or anybody else out there who's been here for a while, dude, I don't care. I love you guys, and I'm going to show nothing but love every damn time, because that's just how I've always been, how I was raised. So watch out for them, man. Exactly what Mr. Walker says here. Trolls. That's all they are. Haters. And if people are mad that I continue to get things right over and over every year while the blue check marks don't, I can't do anything for them. I refuse to start getting things wrong and start being a hot take artist. I won't do it for subscribers. And that's not what this is about. I don't want to be the top YouTube guy. I want to work for the Eagles. Okay. Now, I have a different story because I was not entitled growing up and I chose a path of drugs. So you don't have to be entitled to make it in life. But I chose, instead of working hard, I'm going to be an alcoholic car salesman. So that's pretty much all I did with my life. And I almost died. And that pushed me to follow my dreams. And, now that COVID happened, everyone and their mom's got a channel, so that's awesome. And I know that with my work, I was able to help people. And look, if more people were like Big Mike and just asked, I would happily help people. But instead, you get people stealing my stuff. You saw that jack of media stealing my graphics for a while till I finally called him out. It's like, bro, you guys get paid lots of money. Okay. This is my hobby, hoping that it gets me paid. Like, that's some dick moves right there. Just stealing all this hard work I put in. Like, look, if I was just your average Joe, okay, I get it. But like, dude, I've got this pretty shitty disease and this is my only escape. So please stop trying to take it from me and please stop stealing all my effing ideas. Like that drove me insane that was my first year. And, for those people to tell that kid to steal everything I was doing, that's why you don't see me with many followers, because then it just looks like I'm doing what I was doing and copying that person when it's actually vice versa. So happy for that person. Totally. But it's just funny. That's been my whole life. I'm going to be honest with you. Being good at football, doing things like that. People aren't going to like that. People hate when you're good at something if they're not. And it's weirdo energy, man. Weirdo energy. And I've never been a pretentious asshole. I'm always helpful, always caring. So people get what they put in, man. I can promise you that. They really do. And hey, like I said, reach out, man. I'd love to give you any kind of advice I can. And look, just take it with a grain of salt. I'm nobody. I am not a professional, but I can try to tell you, what I do and what I find, people like. But again, I don't pander to people, and people hate that. They hate when I disagree with something, not telling them, yeah, you're right. Because, dude, I put in the work, and we should be disagreeing about things. The thing is, we don't need to be like, well, I'm going to kill you and your family should die. Like, holy shit, man. Like, simmer down there, January 6th there. But look, I'm going to get rolling out here before I get stabbed here. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the hell out of you. Reach out if you need me. Big Mike, look forward to talking to you. Hopefully I can help you out a little bit with this. But, oh my God, I forgot Herschel was even in here. Herschel, come up. Say hi. He's just staring at me. He was laying back there the whole time, and I didn't even notice. Come here. Come here. Oh my God, he just laid on the ground. Oh, he's so handsome. All right. So I'm going to go take him out, get back to life before I get in trouble. But you guys have yourselves a great rest of your day, a hump day. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. But stay safe out there. Hope you enjoyed the content. Thank you for hitting that like button, subscribing, all that stuff. Truly appreciate you guys. Have a safe day. Enjoy that beautiful weather. And as always, come on!